In Derry, time does not move forward. It circles. It twists. It loops like something trapped beneath the ground is breathing, waiting, and remembering every heartbeat that echoes above it. Episode 2 of Welcome to Derry does not scream. It reminds us that horror does not always start with a monster. Sometimes, it starts with a memory you cannot explain, or a dream that refuses to fade, or a moment that you swear happened before, even though it shouldn't have. And that is where we begin. THERTOTH Kai PTR, the Capitol Theater stands like a fossil, beautiful but rotting under the surface, a place where dreams once lived, and where nightmares now replay themselves like old film reels that refuse to burn out. We see the same stage, we hear the same crowd, we watch the same massive, infant-like creature descend again, its shrieks vibrating like metal bending under pressure. But this time, we aren't watching with the eyes of a terrified child. We see it through Lily. And Lily does not run, she does not scream, she does not flinch, she watches. Her breathing is slow. Her expression is distant, there is no shock, only recognition. As if she has seen this before, as if she has stood in this room many times, in ways she cannot remember. Then we see it, that turtle charm hanging against her chest, small, simple, innocent. But in Stephen Kiniverse, symbols are not accidents. That turtle is Matron, the eternal force of balance, patience, creation. The one who battles Pennywise, not with violence, but with remembrance. This is not just jewelry, this is protection. And if Lily is wearing protection, it means something else is hunting her. Teach Messenjabiriki. Lily opens her eyes. But the theater is gone, the monster is gone, the screams are gone, the world is quiet. Too quiet. She looks around, the lighting is different, the air feels different. Someone tells her something impossible. She has been missing for 7 days. A whole week, swallowed by nothing. No one saw her leave. No one saw her return. No one knows where she went. Not even her. She tries to speak, but her voice cracks like old film burning in a projector. That is the first truth of Derry. Time is not a straight line. It bends to the will of something older, something hungry. And Lily has just stepped into its shadow. Ta Tagaduan TAT10's Derry wakes like any other small town. Buses move, shops open. People talk about the weather, but the smiles are too practiced. The laughter is too thin. The streets are too quiet for a town full of life. This is not peace. This is denial stitched together with small town politeness. A child is shoved into the dirt by older kids. Someone slams a fist too hard. Someone cries. People watch. They watch, but they do nothing. Not because they don't care, but because something inside them whispers, do not interfere. Do not question, do not look too long. Fear in Derry does not hide. It is accepted, normalized, almost welcomed. Evil does not need to hide when no one is willing to see it. The open NGSK and see then, the title sequence roll, and it is beautiful. And it is vicious. A cheerful 1950s tune plays, light, nostalgic, warm. But the images are wrong. We see the standpipe, where hundreds drowned. The kissing bridge, carved with names of lovers who never lived to grow old. Juniper Hill Asylum, the place where nightmares are stored instead of treated. The Bradley Gang Massacre, bullets, smoke, cheering crowds. The town smiles while remembering murder. The music keeps playing. Because in Derry, tragedy is not horror, it's heritage. Rontiat Mom Bof Sham, and then comes Ronnie. This scene is not meant to frighten, it is meant to wound. She slips into a vision, not a dream, a memory shaped into a cage. Fluid surrounds her, thick, warm, airless. She is inside a womb. Her mother stands over her, veiled, trembling. Her movements are wrong. Not human, not natural. They twitch, like a puppet being pulled by invisible wires. Pennywise is not showing Ronnie death. He is showing her guilt. The guilt of simply being born. The horror of believing, I should not exist. To escape, Ronnie must bite through her own umbilical cord. This is not gore. This is emotional violence. Pennywise does not just feed on fear. He cultivates it. Giro Zero tries to be normal again. She walks into a grocery store. But the air shifts. The lights hum just a little too loud. The eyes feel longer. The tiles repeat. The labels on cereal boxes twist into grinning faces. She blinks. The images remain. Her heart beats too fast. The world vibrates. The room bends. And then, Pennywise's voice leaks from the speakers. Not angry. Not laughing. Soft. Warm, almost comfort, like the town itself is whispering to her. Because here is the truth, Pennywise does not need a form to be present. He is the town, the pipes, the drains, the ground, the silence. He is always here, even when no one sees him. Derry is not a town where nightmares visit you. It is a town where nightmares remember you. The deeper we go into episode 2, the more we realize something terrifying. The horror does not follow children in Derry. Children are born into it. It is inherited, unavoidable, like a curse sewn into their blood, and Pennywise is only the face of it. THQUNFTUN fear spreads differently in Derry. Not in screams, not in chaos, it spreads in small silences. A mother avoiding eye contact. A neighbor closing curtains just a second too fast. A teacher who hears crying and pretends they didn't. This is how Derry survives its own history, not by forgetting, but by agreeing to forget. Everyone knows, no one speaks, and that silence is not peace, it is surrender. Tiratuar of Tirad Bialom, the camera holds still, the street empty, the wind is quiet, the sky feels like it's holding its breath, and then a single red balloon rises from behind a storm drain, slow, weightless, almost elegant. But this is a warning. This is a reminder, a message. I am here. Pennywise does not need to appear to be present. He only needs to be remembered. Fear does the rest for him. TEGOVRMNTCNTRST, but terror is the only thing moving beneath Derry. In a dark room, Under buzzing fluorescent lights, men in suits are studying something they should not understand. Derry has caught the attention of the United States government, not because of the killings, not because of the disappearances, but because of the pattern. Every cycle, every tragedy, every wave of fear. Falls Mathematicals is not just a monster, he is a system, a biological organism, a psychological weapon, and now there are people who believe they can use him. A weapon that does not need to fire, only to be remembered. Fear that stops the human mind from thinking, from resisting, from fighting back. A weapon that breaks a person before they ever speak. They think they can control it. But there are things older than governments, older than war, older than humanity, and Pennywise has watched civilizations rise and fall like embers in a fire. He does not get tamed. He waits. See, Lily tries to speak about her week, the missing days, but the words do not come. Every time she tries to recall the theater, the sound, the light, the creature, her voice fractures like glass under heat. This is how trauma works in Derry, not as something remembered, but as something blocked, locked, buried, until the right moment when Pennywise wants it to return. Because Pennywise does not only feed on fear, he feeds on memory. He waits until the memory hurts more than the event. Teach Sheppy and T. Carnair. Night falls. Lily tries to sleep. The room is quiet, too quiet, the type of silence that listens. Her breath shakes in her chest, the dark feels thick, heavy, pulsing. There is no sound. But she knows she is not alone. A shape stands in the corner, not moving, not breathing, waiting not for her to scream, but for her to remember. Because Pennywise does not fear being seen. He fears being recognized. Once you recognize him, you can never unsee him. Why Pennywise does not chase. Pennywise draws you in, like a voice calling from the bottom of a well, like a door left slightly open in a dark hallway, like a memory that tastes wrong but feels familiar. Derry does not need to hunt its children. Derry raises them, and one by one it consumes them. Not with teeth, not with claws, but with the belief that this is the way things have always been, and that belief is the true horror.